He talking about my bad, cuz my bad. She told me I ain't turn on the air sign. I'm gonna have to get me one too. I'm gonna turn that
Don't
shit
be at the
on.
bus stop at 3:30.
Look, I'm gonna turn that shit on when I ain't on the air. Just on the air.
Yep.
Huh? Huh? I ain't saying that. I ain't saying that. I ain't saying that.
For the victory lap though. Whoa, whoa. They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I should overcome. What for? Train in the trees, please pardon my sycamore. Touch burning sands, cross lands and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Ain't no challenge for champions and chain no fear. Yup, the champ is here. Switch gears with dipping hitters in the rear. At the blood, sweat, and tears, and my goal so near. I see my victory so clear. I see my victory so clear. And today, we break through. 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 I know it's lonely at the top, but that's not by speculation.
What I was finna tell y'all, which is why I started this in the first place, about what went on yesterday with me. Like I said, I suffer from depression. Most times I'm good. As long as I take my medicine, I'm straight and good to go. Sometimes the medicine don't do nothing. It just don't help. You know, I got a therapist that I talk to pretty regularly. You know, more so when I'm having an issue because it seems like when I get into that dark place, it's hard to come out of it. You know what I'm saying? So it might take me a week or two to get absolutely straight. Doing this show is a little therapeutic for me, so it helps. You know what I'm saying? Because it take me out of my own mindset and focus
Mhm.
on what we trying to do. So that helps a
Got you.
whole lot.
Got you.
Right.
But yesterday, I was just in that funk, man, because I was hurting. And sometimes when I'm in pain, man, it changed my complete attitude is trash, man, when I'm in pain. And that's where that pain be. I can't do nothing about it. Ain't no rubbing, ain't no cream, ain't no nothing I can rub on it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing I can
Right.
do. But I got medicine that I do take. Um, that but it keep me sleep, man. I just by the time I go through a whole day of taking this medicine, man, I be like a zombie for about 2 days. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I didn't want to
Right.
take. I finally took some last night when it was time to go to bed because I knew it was gonna make me go to sleep. So, but I was going through these issues yesterday, and I was just mad at the world and having issues. And one of the things that when it brought up to me was, why is it so hard for men to admit when they're in pain or mentally not right? When you mentally ain't right, I know from my standpoint, when I'm mentally like not right, I think about the other people that are around me. I don't want them to have to walk around on eggshell while I'm trying to get myself to a point where I can just talk to people in a normal tone and not have them not be snapping at people. I guess you
Mhm.
want to say.
Mhm.
So for me, that's mainly what it is. But a lot of times, man, I just don't be want to, when I'm funky, man, just I don't want to talk. You know what I'm saying? So I want to ask you fellas, you know, uh, do y'all ever get into, just as a man in general, do you ever get into a depressive state? I know a big trigger for me is money. When I start thinking about finances, man, if I feel like I'm not providing for my family, I get real funky.
Mhm.
So some of the, y'all give me some of the ways that y'all might do this, and why is it hard or difficult for most men to admit when they going through a mental issue? or black people in general for that matter. Because I know a lot of black people, know a lot of black people still to this day won't discuss mental health with one another. So
Right.
just
Right.
want to see what y'all had, what ideas or what thoughts y'all had on that tonight.
Gotcha.
Uh, I can go ahead and touch on that.
Go ahead, bro.
All right. Just a few minutes ago, I was watching the news, and they was talking about you can go and spend the night at Millersville at the mental hospital,
Hmm.
and I thought, huh, maybe that's why in our area we never wanted to discuss stuff as children or even young adults because when we was little, that's all we was told. Don't get sent off to Millersville.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
they cut your head on when you go there, lock you up, put you in a padded room.
Yeah. I remember
And
hearing
and
that
and the
word
thing,
small. Yeah.
yeah. And the thing is, maybe that was, because medicine has evolved and therapy and stuff like that has evolved, but sometimes the mentality of what these places offer when you go for help has not changed. You see what I'm saying? Because folks
Yeah.
think, oh, if I go see somebody because I don't know why I cry all the time, or I don't know why I snap at my wife, or I don't know why I go off the deep end. A lot of that stuff is because of what we were taught, is that you don't talk about it. Don't have nobody calling you crazy. It's not a word you can put on it. Just like if you go to a doctor for your heart, your leg, your arm, your eyes, and go to the dentist to get your teeth clean. I mean, sometimes you need to go to a doctor and clean your mind.
Yes, sir.
That's true. That's
And
true.
and 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 that's something that me myself, I did not know that I suffered from PTSD until I actually sat down and talked to somebody and asked them what's wrong with me.
Hmm.
Okay.
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 And
Okay.
it took a while to get all that stuff out because you know, especially when you're in the military, you see stuff, you go through stuff, you have to do stuff that you don't really agree with, but you do it because that's your job. You
Yeah.
you raise your right hand to support and defend, but it's the after effects later on down the line. Because when you're young, you don't think about it. You just think, man, I got me one. But when you see that face years and years and years later, or you see them graves you had to dig and them toe tags you had to put on years and years and years later, that's when it started affecting you. Because as long as you in there and you gung ho and you doing your thing, you're not gonna think about it. And that is no different than folks in the military, folks that's seen traumatic things, and folks that's doing traumatic things in the street.
Okay. And you're absolutely correct. And one of the things that like I said, I didn't necessarily want to talk about it, but I love y'all. Y'all my buddies, man. It is what it is, and I figured that if I say something about it, who knows who I might be helping.
Right.
Just by discussing this. But it ain't really no excuse me, ain't no really no secret in my family. Everybody in my family pretty much know this. They know I have struggles sometimes when it comes to my mental health, and like I said, I got a therapist that I talk to regularly, and when I talk to him, we don't necessarily come to a solution. He just, as they always say, we just unpack some things, so.
Yeah.
And it's usually just, it always boils down to me overthinking stuff, panicking, because I also suffer from anxiety, believe it or not. I think Illy witnessed a little bit of that over the weekend. I had an issue with a checking account and I blew a gasket. You know, I mean, I blew a
Yeah, yeah.
absolute gasket. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
But that's normal. Who wouldn't in that situation?
well, yeah, in that situation, yeah, I think anybody would have got mad. But
Yeah.
my wife, you noticed that my wife called my son right after we talked. You know, and asked him, was I blowing a gasket, basically. And he was like, he
Oh, I
was
missed
about to.
that.
Oh, I don't know if you was in the car yet when she called
Oh,
right after me and her talk. She called
yeah.
BJ to see if I was cutting up. She already know, stuff like that'll trigger me and throw me into things, man. I be trying my best to fight it, but I'm a human being, so it happens, you know.
Yeah.
So let me say this for everybody that's gonna watch this show and that is watching this show. If you got any kind of mental health issues, don't be afraid to say something to somebody. It's better that you say something, get it off you, than to try to hold it in and deal with it all on your by yourself. Because everybody needs help. We as the black community, we really got to stop uh, looking at people sideways when they say they having mental health issues. That don't necessarily mean you crazy. It don't mean you crazy. It just mean you need help,
Right.
and you got to deal with it accordingly.
Right. Right.
You know.
Right.
So, anybody else?
You want to go, Pookie, or?
I go if you.
Well, I'm gonna just say this. If y'all going through something, everybody out there, yeah, like Brian said, get some help.
Oh,
Friends or family, get some help. Talk to somebody. I mean, for me personally, my life through the years haven't been great. I mean, who has? I guess. I've been through a divorce that took me down and out for a while, and um, I didn't know where to turn for a while, but I thank God I got over it, and that's I don't want to get on a preaching soapbox, but it took a lot of prayer.
preach.
Um, 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 but through everyday life, like you said, we struggle with. We may be wondering how we're gonna pay our bills. A lot of us may be living check to check somewhat, almost. I mean, just pressures of the world, can get you in another state of mind. And for me, I like to go get on the treadmill, go jog, walk a little bit, watch something funny on TV to put my mind somewhere else, where I'm not thinking about the pressures of life. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter how, uh, religified you might be, or we all go through things. I mean, and I think, I know God understand that. He know that, when we put our trust in him, but we still human and we go through things. So I think, just like I said, for me personally, I try to find something that will put my mind off of maybe what I'm going through at that particular time, and I appreciate you telling us this, man, and big up to you, props to you, for letting that out, because it ain't easy for a man to let that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's not easy.
And my wife actually asked the question. That what she came in here and said earlier. She said, "Why is it so hard for y'all to admit when y'all having a mental day? Or you just you're not feeling well, or you're hurting, or it's like I guess it go. I assume it comes from that. Back in the days when we were told men ain't supposed to cry. You know, so you don't never want to seem vulnerable, or you don't never want to seem weak. So you don't go around telling people, yeah, I got mental health problems. That ain't something that's easy for me to say out loud, and I know other people gonna see this. But when God put it on my heart to say something, man, I just put it out there. So I'm sure I am not the only one that got issues. Me saying this out loud might encourage somebody else to seek therapy. So because therapy helps. Trust me when I tell you, it really helps to have somebody who don't really know you that will listen to what you got to say and try to help you figure out, why you feeling the way you feeling, and come up with some type of solution to help you when you get in those spirals, you know.
Gotcha.
Right.
Blue.
Well, I don't know. For me, I kind of can relate to Derek. Suffering from PTSD, and then for years, the worst part about that is for years you don't even know it. It's just things that you just happen to be in the right place at the right time for someone to see how you react in situations or in certain environments to where they can tell you, say, hey man, you might want to, go and talk to somebody about that, because that could be from what you witnessed and what you did, what you've been through the years of being in the military and even after that. And believe it or not, it does help to talk to someone, if you're having issues. I went to the VA, went through the courses, and talking with someone, speaking with someone, and it does help. To be able to, even if it doesn't solve the situation, it helps to be able to vent to someone about what you're going through. Just being able to, as Brian say, unload some things. I find it relaxing for me to just get outside. Not go out and do anything. Just go out and just sit, close my eyes, and then just listen to nature. And then if you do those things and you allow yourself to just calm down and just kind of like listen at what God has done, then just think about what God has brought you through, even though in spite of what you may be feeling at the time, or in spite of what you're going through, but just think about what you have been through and made it through it to this point. So why, I've kind of got to this point to where, I'm not going to let um, something that's temporary change my destiny.
Okay.
And it's one of those things to where when you're in a funk or something, if you want to call it, or down in the dumps, the best way I found out to get away from that is to help somebody else. Focus your attention somewhere else. Try to help somebody, no matter what it is. If it ain't nothing but helping them in the yard, change a tire, or clean up in the house, or just take that negative vibe that you got and turn it into energy to help somebody else. That's what I do, and it will help you. At the end of that, when you look back at what you was upset about, and I was talking with somebody, it's crazy that we had this conversation, but I was talking with somebody kind of about the same thing maybe about a week ago, and he was saying, how he would go through and this, that, and the other, and the way he would refocus is by helping others, and that is a good thing to do, is because how he said it, a lot of times when you're in those dark moments, you're really self-centered, and the best way to get out of that is to be vulnerable to somebody else's feelings, to help somebody else out of a situation will help you in yours. And I just kind of take that to heart, to where whenever you're feeling that way, the best thing to do is, for one, find some other way to redirect that energy to where you're not by yourself focusing on what you feel like the issue is.
Gotcha.
To where you turn that energy to someone else. Because if you help someone else out of the situation, you can't focus on yours and help somebody else at the same time. You're going to have to do one or the other.
Right.
I understood.
Good
But
talk.
what do y'all think is is it because of our upbringing that most of us are, I won't say afraid, but just refer not to talk about our mental health?
It's one of those things where I think like you said, Brian, it's like, for one, it's like your upbringing, and two, you're talking about men that's being the head of the household. You want to always represent your household as a strong front. You being the rock of the house, so being a solid foundation.
Right.
And in a lot of our minds, we don't. It's not that we don't want to seem weak, but I know for me, I don't want my family to feel like they're vulnerable to attack because I'm not on my post.
Right. Right. And that's exactly why, when they asked that question, I thought about it for a second and said, well, that my main reason for not, I kind of just bag up and go in the room and, I just kind of stay off to myself. And my family ain't like that. They not the kind of people that if I go off in the room by myself, here they come. If for nothing else to try to cheer me up, break me out the funk, whatever it is, they not gonna just let me waddle in, I guess you could say.
Right.
And it'd be cool for the time being, but when they leave, then I still have to deal with it, one way or the other. I can usually go on with my day and don't have no problem. And like I say, this ain't an everyday thing. This just every now and then, sometimes I can't shake it, but most of the time I stay prayed up, man, and I'm good, and I can go months sometime and never have an issue.
Right.
Anxiety, on the other hand, I have to work with that because that's, it's like as long as I keep myself out of high anxiety situations, I'm good. But that's why I had to learn how to be cool with some stuff that I can't control.
Right.
Gotta
Right.
really have to back. I have to take a step back, man. I like my stress level to be down. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. I can't be up here. You know what I'm saying? That don't work good with me. I have to stay low. That's one of the reasons I like being at your house all the time. What you said about sitting outside listening to nature, man. You have no
Yeah.
idea how much when I come down there, it's like it's a whole different vibe out of your house because you hear the wind blow through the trees and you smell the grass.
Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying? I mean, it's
Yes,
it's
sir.
it's man. When I tell you it's therapeutic out there, that's why my son love it so much. That's all
Yeah.
he want to do is get outside. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, if we had a wide open space like that, man, he'd have been outside every single day. You know what I'm saying? Probably even in the
Right.
rain because he'll go out there in the rain now. So,
Right.
but that is, your place is very therapeutic. Let me say that.
Okay. Cool.
Yes,
Cool.
sir. Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Very therapeutic. But and that's my question was about, why is it so hard for men to talk about it? And I think it's a lot of it got to do with our upbringing. Like Derek said, we were told you're gonna get sent to Millersville because Millersville was so in close proximity to where we live, and all we knew were crazy people went there. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So, growing up, that's all we were told, crazy
Well,
people
maybe
went
Right.
that
there.
was a good thing. We it put fear in us. Okay, look, I better act right, do the best I can do without not to go down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
But it
Yeah,
also
that's true.
it created a culture too, Jack, that if we were having any mental illness or any problems that, you know, getting depressed or feeling in the dumps or feeling any kind of way, not just depression, but anything,
mhm.
we wasn't gonna tell nobody. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's where that culture come from. I mean
But you know what, man? And if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, y'all. I mean, I think I think being around Pookie and you, Brian, maybe not Derek. I hate you and I wasn't as close as as close when we was younger, but I believe y'all would have saw something in me. Hey man, what's wrong with you? Just like I
well,
think I would have saw something in y'all. What's wrong, man? You and yourself today. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, that I guess
Yeah.
that is
Yeah. Yeah.
a advantage of
Yeah.
having close friends.
Yeah.
We was always around each other.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it wasn't that
I
new.
feel like y'all could have
Me and
came to me
Derek
and said, "Look,
stayed.
something wrong, something going on," and even if it was something so personal in the household, this was going on.
I remember when you fell out in church one time, and I felt like I couldn't leave you alone no more. You know what I'm saying? I didn't
Yeah.
want to leave you by yourself, man. I remember you came to my house and you left my
Ooh,
house one afternoon, and I was like, man, I ought to walk him home. You know, just for real.
Okay.
Because I was
Exactly.
like, man, because I didn't know exactly why you fell out. I just knew you had fell out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I remember that. Now, that was right next to me. Are you Urshan that day? I'll never forget that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never,
It just wasn't
never.
simply I fainted.
Yeah,
Simply
yeah.
said
You
I
fainted.
fainted.
Yeah, you fainted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
but
Standing with your
we were
leg locked.
kids, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, look, don't bring up nothing about fainting. I just went through that.
yeah. That just happened to
Man,
him like a week or so ago.
Oh,
Damn,
really?
man.
Yeah, they was at a restaurant celebrating his birthday.
Mm.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow, man. But I did go to the doctors. I remember my mom took me, I want to say Columbus. I forgot where, but anyway, they put them things in my head, stuck them on my head, and wanted to make sure I was okay in the head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everything turned
Right.
out fine. It was just simply I fainted. That's all.
Right. Right.
But yeah.
But a lot of times, with mental health, now, back then it wasn't broken down as much as it is now.
yeah, true.
Back then, if you were having mental health issues, it wasn't too many places you can go to get help
That's
other
true.
than
That is true.
a psych ward or something like that. And and if you wasn't crazy, you'd be crazy after you now went there and come back. So it's one of those things to where compared to from where we was to where we are, for those that was raised back in those times, it's like kind of like breaking a sound barrier. That's something that's got to be broken. Old habit got to be
Right.
broken to where if you having mental health issues, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're crazy.
Right.
And I do believe that it is changing for the better. It's still a little, in our community, it's still a little wonky because a lot of dudes, man, they won't seek help. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of trauma, a lot of stuff that happened in people's childhood that they never dealt with. And they get to be our age, 40, 50 years old, and they still having the same issues because they never dealt with this stuff in the past. And the younger generation now being traumatized at an earlier age than we would. Your relationship with your mama is more like your friend because y'all ain't that far apart in age. You know what I'm saying? I had one guy tell me that, he never really respected his mama like that. She was more like a big sister to him. And she treated him like a little brother. She never treated him like a son. He never saw her as a mama, you know. And because he's like when he got old enough, they were drinking and smoking weed together. They were going to the club together. So he didn't realize how much it affected him until he got married and had his own kids. Then he realized, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? I got to be a better father than I am. And he said that he started going to therapy, just trying to get himself in the right headspace so he can stay married, be a parent, and not mess his kids up. Because his biggest thing was, I ain't want to mess my kids up because I felt like I got messed up. And, during that time, a lot of the things that, he thought was cool growing up with his mom, he realized I really was craving discipline. You know what I'm saying? And I had none. He said I could pretty much do whatever I wanted to, and nothing was ever said. But, and he said he went to talk to his mom about it, just to discuss with her, not to tell her she did nothing wrong. Sure, she did the best she could. But at the same time, she kind of resented him, and basically said that the therapist trying to kill our relationship. He's like, no, the therapist ain't trying to kill our relationship. I'm just telling you that, that maybe this wasn't the best course of action. And I understand you had me at a young age, but I didn't get no discipline, none whatsoever. And so he was just like, that, it's over and done with now. It ain't nothing that, that we can do about it now. But I just wanted you to know how I felt about the situation.
Yeah.
So, but and I said that to say this. It seemed like a lot of our older generation, they'll buck about stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? They don't really. I don't know if they don't understand or they just don't feel like they need to have. They don't need to tell all their business to somebody else. One of the first things that they'll say is, "Well, Jesus is my therapist." Yeah, Jesus is your therapist. I agree to that, but it don't hurt to have a man therapist neither. A man, J- God gave doctors skills for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Utilize them.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So
Right.
that's fine. I understand that. I understand people say, taking things to God, you supposed to. But when God tell you to seek therapy and you don't, hey, that's what they there for. So,
That's right.
but anyway, all right, brother. Let me say this. I love being a man. That's number one. I love being a man. I love everything about manhood. It took me till I got in my probably early 40s before I really realized what being a man was. Uh, Not let alone being a good man, but just being a man in general. You know, Standing up for people that I'm supposed to stand up for. Uh, Digging down deep even when it hurts. To make sure that my kids have. Digging down deep when it hurts, to make sure my wife is okay. My family, my mother, my sister. Whatever it is that I am to whatever women it is in my circle, being that person that they can count on. That my mother-in-law called and she needs something, she know I'm coming. My brothers, my brother-in-laws, my brothers on this show, if they need something, they know I'm gonna be here for them. That that's all the definition of being a man. And one thing I had to learn about being a man was when my mental health is at stake, if I'm unhealthy mentally, then none of that can take place. I can't be the man that I'm supposed to be if I'm not getting help for my own sanity. And I'm not saying you insane because you need help. I'm just saying that if you got any trauma in your past, and if you don't, you'll be surprised that sometime when you start opening up to this therapist, you'll start discovering some things that bothered you that you didn't even really know bothered you. A lot of things in my childhood growing up with my father and everything else that we done discussed on this show, are issues for me. Uh, like I said, we were supposed to record yesterday and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I was just not in the mental headspace to be able to try to be upbeat and do this show because I knew if I got on here and started talking about it, I was gonna be here crying the entire time. But there ain't nothing wrong with that neither. Sometimes you gotta let it go. Get to yourself if you gotta get to yourself and let it go. So I know there's online therapists. There's people you can call. Most people got I forgot. I know it's called EAP. I can't remember what the EAP stand for, but most people have that on their jobs. There's nothing wrong with it. Please let me make this real clear. There is nothing wrong with having a therapist. There's nothing wrong with unpacking your deepest, darkest secret to somebody that you don't know, but is medically, professionally able to advise you and help you get yourself on a track to healing. And that's what it's all about, healing. You know, in our community, sometimes it's hard for us to even admit that we got an issue. But the first thing is, you kind of got to know yourself. If you know you need somebody to talk to, I will get information. I will make sure on the next show I have it all and I'll be able to put it up for y'all. I promise you that. I wasn't prepared today. I wasn't sure if this is what we were going to talk about or not. So, but I will do that. Maybe I'll do it in post, But I will find some ways. I know they got this one thing called Better Health. They're not a sponsor, but you know, if they want to sponsor us, cool. But I know Better Health is a place that you can go and seek out a therapist, and they will help you. So, with all that being said, y'all, hopefully that something we said, something we done, has benefited somebody outside our circle. And I appreciate y'all from watching. And Jack, you got anything else you want to say before we go?
No, man. I mean, hey, you know, I mean, no. Just want to give another shout out to Sly County, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
Tri-County.
Class of 93.
Sly County. 91, man.
Class of 91. No, I'm shouting out 93 too.
Oh, okay. My bad.
91, 94.
Them bottom boy, them Newtown boy, them project boy. What's up?
Oh, my wife said 95.
Okay, 95. What's up to them bottom boy, them Newtown boy? Project boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Derek, you on?
I'm here.
All right. You got anything you want to say before we go?
Man, love, peace, and happiness, y'all.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. We out.